So welcome back to the channel. Today has been an absolute palaver. I've come to Cardiff for the Cardiff half marathon, one of the super halves, but today has by no stretch of the imagination been a super easy day. So this morning I had work, pretty standard, no dramas there. Drove all the way to Wales, again, no dramas there. But me and my girlfriend booked a apartment through booking.com. Me and my girlfriend have turned up to the apartment. It's pretty shabby, but one of those things, I booked to the apartment or booked to the event pretty late, so I just basically took what I could get. We've gone into the apartment, obviously as I said, not very clean. Come back from trying to get some food and there are rats in the apartment. My girlfriend, Kaylee, she heard the squeaking of the rats and I thought it was my shoe originally, and then we went kind of looking for them and we found them behind the kitchen kind of counter. There was a few of them. I'll put a video over the top. So absolutely last minute, it's approaching midnight here in Cardiff, and we've managed to find a replacement at the village gym. So yeah, today's been an absolute palaver, not what you need before the race. But anyway, just finished sorting out my race kit for tomorrow, and yeah, it's gonna be, well, I'm gonna have to go to bed now because otherwise it's gonna be an absolute shambolic performance tomorrow. I've had a burger for dinner, which was dreadful. I only ate half of it because it tasted like cardboard, and yeah, just the stress of trying to find a backup hotel. So we'll see, and when I wake up and we head to the race, I'll talk to you a little bit about what the race is for, why I'm doing the half, why I booked onto it late, so on and so forth. But yeah, anyway, I need to head to bed and try and forget about this absolute hellish day. So yeah, let's go. It's go time. Random magic stuff on the floor. So we've driven as close as we can get to the city centre. Now, I'm not a snob in any way, shape or form, but the state of the place driving in is an absolute mess. They've obviously had some massive parties last night. The streets are just absolutely plastered in rubbish, so it seems like the clean-up crew are out to try and do their best to clean it up, but it's not the best advertisement for Cardiff at the moment. I'm sure the rest of the country is beautiful, but Cardiff, from what I've seen, not quite up to, well, not quite my tastes, but anyway, let's head to registration and yeah, let's get ready, let's get in the zone. So pre-race coffee acquired, gone for an iced latte. I found that hot coffees just upset my stomach, so I did a little bit of research, and it turns out that it's actually the heat of a hot coffee that upsets your stomach and causes stomach issues, not the coffee or the caffeine, because they actually cause you to increase, cause increased urination rather than increased bowel movement. So little tip for the day, coffee will get you peeing lots, but it will have absolutely no effect on the other end.
Feeling?
A little bit nervous, but last minute I've had to update my camera software, so fun times. Testing. Oh no, I did it again. So it's time to warm up for the Cardiff half marathon, and it's time for me to tell you a little bit about why I'm doing this race. This wasn't a spur of the moment decision. I've been thinking about my future in the marathon for a little while and decided that I wanted to give London Marathon a go next year. So to get a championship entry into the race, you need to have done a certain standard half marathon. Now, this standard used to be 1:12:30. However, a couple of days ago, London Marathon changed this to 1:11:30. So 71:30, which falls 4 minutes outside of my PB. So, which sounds easy, but obviously having been out of action from January to June pretty much. We're gonna put the fitness to the test and see if I can get the standard of 71:30 for entry into London Marathon next year. So it was a bit of a late entry for me. Just looked at the calendar and saw, to be honest, there wasn't too many high quality half marathons between kind of October and December, which is when the cut-off is. So December 31st is when you have to have logged your performance to get entry into, or championship entry into London. So yeah, that's the plan. That's why I'm doing Cardiff, to get sub 71:30. We'll see if the fitness is there. I think it is. Training's been going really well. And a lot of people have been asking me about when am I debuting in the marathon. So I guess the cat's out of the bag now. My plan is to do London next year, all things being well. So yeah, so I've come down to the Cardiff half marathon, super half, to give it a crack. And yeah, also do a race I've never done before. So I'm just warming up inside the Cardiff Castle, which, to be honest, this is probably the best elite athlete treatment I've ever had, which is kind of strange because I don't know if I should really be here given my current fitness level, because it was my PB that kind of gave me access into here, my 67.26. So I feel a little bit imposter syndrome, but hopefully I can get not too far off that today. But seeing the likes of Ben Connor, Deborah Griffiths, seen some elite athletes decked out in full Adidas and Asics gear, so yeah, I think it's a quick time on the cars today, so let's give it a crack.
Please. That's all right.
Oh yeah, there they are. Please watch an energetic one.
The sixth fastest Briton in history, it is Ben Connor. In Cardiff, we are
Let's go. average so far. Missed. Whoops.
Let's go, Rob! Go on, Rob! Go on, Cole!
Mile 7, 5:17.
Flying, mate. Cruising, mate. Cruising. Let's go, Cole. Come on, Cole.
Oh, 5:14. Let's go. Come on, man. 5:13. 5:17. Come on, 11. 5:21. Struggling now. Oh, 5:28. This is where it counts. 5:13, 5:20. Last bit.
Around about 11:30 on the Cardiff half podium over there.
Wow. Oh. Oh. Oh, I'm so chuffed with that. Just about held it together, leaving about 10 seconds over the final kind of 2 miles, but oh, I'm so happy with that. Miles ahead of what I wanted to do. That's bloody good. That's bloody good. Mrs. Potts Chocolate House. Lovely. So it's now been a few days after the Cardiff half marathon. To be honest, my life is just so hectic at the moment in terms of just squeezing in runs here, working there. So I've given it a few days to kind of process how I felt about the whole race, and obviously it's got to be a positive. I mean, after how long I had out through injury and then coming back and improving on essentially 4 minutes on what I ran at the Great North Run. Delving into the race a little bit more deeply, I think I paced it to an absolute T, to be honest with you. I started off at a pace where I thought, oh, maybe this is a little bit too hot for me. And then just as the race progressed, I just got quicker or maintained the same pace basically, and just started to overtake people, drop people, and just felt like I got stronger throughout the run until about 1.5 miles to go, when the legs just kind of started to get a little bit tired, as expected. A lot of people will say that the half marathon doesn't truly start until about 5 miles to go, so about 8 miles. And to be honest, I still felt really strong at that point. It was only really up some kind of long rolling hills towards the back end of the race that I really started to tire. One thing I would like to say is a massive shout out to a guy who I ran most of the race with. He's a vet 50 now, I believe. I think he might be 49 years old. A guy called Chris Greenwood, who paced the race to an absolute T. I dropped him maybe 5 to 10 times, maybe more, and every time he came back, he caught me back up, and then in the last mile just really put his foot down and left me in the dust. So he paced it to an absolute T. He's an absolute legend, and hopefully it's a motivation for people that, well, a lot of people tell me that they're kind of getting too old to run quick, and it's just absolutely not true. Chris is, yeah, as I said, nearly 50 and absolutely smashing it. So overall, I think the whole elite, sub-elite experience at the Cardiff half was the best I've experienced in terms of being in the castle, being around the other elite athletes. There's like access to like drinks, toilets, showers, massage, the proper warm-up area. It just kind of had everything you needed to make it as less stressful as possible. Even though there's a bit of an imposter syndrome in that scenario where you're like, well, I shouldn't really be here. Like, you've got people in their full Adidas, full Asics tracksuits because they're obviously paid athletes, and I'm just there, just, you know, happy to be there. All feels a little bit surreal. And in terms of the course, like it reminded me very similarly to the Great North Run. It's pretty flat, there's quite a few rolling hills, but nothing too steep, apart from the little kicker at mile 12, so shout out to the person that let me know about that hill, because that definitely saved me a little bit. I have to be honest, when that person told me about the hill at mile 12, I've been thinking like the whole way through the race, like there's a hill at mile 12, and then there was like quite a big kind of rolling hill at or kind of shallow incline at mile 10, and it just seemed to go on forever, and I thought maybe that's what they were talking about, maybe they'd misjudged it. And then I did get to mile 12 and there was like quite a steep incline. I was like, oh no, that's what they were talking about. So yeah, massive shout out to whoever sent me a little message beforehand. I tried to find the message, but yeah, massive thank you for letting me know that the hill was there. But obviously the main reason that I was doing the Cardiff half was to get the London Marathon for the championship entry, which was recently changed to 1:11:30, and I managed to do that. I managed to do it quite comfortably, and if I'm completely honest, I wouldn't have gone all that way to Cardiff if I'd known I was going to be that far below it. I probably would have just found like a more local half marathon. I just thought I needed all the help to get pulled around by a group of guys at like a really kind of quick course, and it turned out that actually I was relatively comfortable underneath that timer there, which I didn't expect, so I really surprised myself there. And I'm not definitely set on doing the London Marathon, I just wanted to get that qualification to give me the option to do it. I've wanted to do a marathon for a long time, so now that I've got that kind of qualification time, it gives me the option to do it, and that's what I wanted really. It just gives me that freedom to pick if I want to do London, if I don't want to do London, just because of the injury setbacks that I've had. But every other year I've had the option of doing it, so this year again I wanted the option of doing it, but because I've been injured from kind of January to June, I hadn't got a qualification time under my belt, so sub 1:11:30. I hadn't done one because the only half I'd done up to that point was the Great North Run, where I ran 73:15, I think it was. So yeah, just wanted to tick that box. It's very likely that I'll do the London Marathon in 2025, but definitely not dead set on it yet. I'm going to see how the rest of winter plays out. I'd like to get another fast kind of 10k under my belt and see if I can really crack on towards that sub 30 pace, maybe just outside, just to see what I can do essentially. And of course, cross-country season is always a lot of fun. So yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about the race. I'd say do have one tiny gripe to talk about, and it's absolutely nothing to do with Cardiff, it's just something that happens at a lot of races, is when they have when you start the race, you've got kind of like the elite and sub-elite runners, and then they kind of join the rest of the waves together just before the gun's about to go off. The amount of people that then filter through the elites just to get like further ahead, but then end up like tripping people up because they've gone way too far forward for the pace that they're going to run, if that makes sense. So you've got like people at the front, obviously I think the winner just broke 60, so they're running well sub 3-minute Ks, and then you get people that are maybe hoping to run 4-minute Ks deciding to filter through, and then say like the elite women who aren't built as big as some of the guys that just walk through, they get tripped up, and it didn't ruin my race, but I did get tripped up at the start by someone who shouldn't have been in front of me, with all due respect, because he kind of forced his way around me to get in front, and then ended up nearly tripping me over because he was going a little bit slower than I planned on going, which is absolutely not an issue, but a little bit annoying when they're kind of forcing their way in front of you to then just trip you up within 200 meters of the race. So that's the only thing I would say, but that happens at a lot of races, and it didn't directly affect me this time, but it can affect you. But without further ado, please like, subscribe, share with running buddies. Cardiff Half Marathon, what a race. Really chuffed with that, and yeah, hopefully it bodes well for the rest of winter. So take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.